kind and pure elven princess became my captive. Instead of resisting, she brought me back to the elven tribe. It wasn't that she was trained to obey me, but rather that no male elves had been born in the elven tribe for millennia. Thus, the queen ordered her sister to go out and search for a vigorous male. Initially, her target was the infamous goblins of the continent. But little did she know, I had already wiped out the goblins. As it turned out, I had been asleep for 5,000 years. The era of cultivators had come to an end, replaced by a world of magic and mystical races. After waking up, I wandered alone, spending my days clearing goblin nests, until I met Catherine's team in the forest. In this land teeming with magical beasts, seeing me alone left them astonished. This guy's outfit looks so strange, and he's not carrying any gear to fight magical beasts. Then they took out a psychic sensor and pointed it at me. It revealed that my psychic energy level was 0, even weaker than an average person with no combat ability. Catherine explained that psychic energy is a special ability used to fight magical beasts, categorized into levels from S to E. But I didn't care at all. Despite being young, Catherine was already a D-rank mage. She quickly used magic to eliminate the surrounding goblins. Suddenly, Catherine's pupils contracted sharply. She saw a gigantic goblin, but the team noticed it wasn't moving. Boldly, Zhang San walked up to it, recklessly poking the giant goblin's knee. Then he confidently claimed, "It's just a corpse." But the next second, he lost his right hand to a swift attack. Giant goblin leader had awakened. Li Si fainted immediately out of fear. Catherine warned me not to act recklessly. She then approached the goblin leader, unleashing her strongest magic, but the goblin leader casually dispersed it with a wave of his hand. This creature had the strength of at least a third-tier magical beast. It would take at least a C-rank psychic to handle it. The goblin leader then threw a punch. Catherine was knocked to the ground. Just as she was about to lose hope, she saw me using only 2 fingers to catch the goblin leader's giant sword. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move it an inch. The sight left Catherine completely stunned. Calmly, I told her to step back. I didn't want her to get caught in my attack. "Big guy, have you ever tasted lightning?" At that moment, the goblin leader's face showed panic. Quickly, countless streaks of lightning lit up the clouds above. Electric sparks appeared at my fingertips. A massive thunderbolt suddenly struck down. Witnessing such a powerful lightning spell, Catherine couldn't believe her eyes. Could he be a hidden genius mage? As dawn broke, Zhang San and Li Si regained consciousness. From Catherine, they learned that I had saved them. The two quickly apologized to me. Then they asked how I planned to divide the materials from the magical beast. I bluntly stated that I wanted all of it, but seeing how pitiful they were, I generously gave them 2 goblin toenails. That night, I found a comfortable spot to take a bath. In my hand, I toyed with a jade pendant. Struck by heavenly lightning, it remained unscathed. It even emitted a faint trace of spiritual energy. It must be a valuable treasure. Afterward, I peacefully fell asleep. At that moment, a 9-tailed fox spirit emerged from the pendant. 5,000 years, I can finally see the light of day again. Was it you who awakened me? It turned out that a 9-tailed fox spirit was within me, trying to absorb my spiritual energy while I slept. As she indulged in extracting my energy, she suddenly realized I had awakened. She quickly jumped back, her face flushed. But she soon calmed down, gently exhaling a pink mist. She cast a charm spell on me. 2 alluring figures appeared before my eyes. But soon, she revealed a worried expression. If even he can't resist my charm spell, I might have to continue sleeping. At that moment, she was shocked to find that I seemed unaffected by her spell. Instead, she couldn't resist my aura. She fell asleep instantly. Seeing that I passed the test, she stopped hiding. It turned out she was the spirit of the ancient treasure, the Xuantian fox pendant. After 1,000 years of cultivation, she had finally taken human form. However, she fell into a deep sleep due to the influence of demonic energy. My vast spiritual energy successfully awakened her. Blushing, she asked if I was a cultivator. I happily confirmed that I was. She then wondered why cultivators still existed in this world. It turned out that 5,000 years ago, a great war between immortals and demons occurred. It ultimately ended the era of cultivators. The demonic energy's influence gave rise to various new races. They abandoned spiritual cultivation and started using magic instead. Thus, no one could awaken her using spiritual energy. As for the immortal demon war she mentioned, I had no memory of it. It turned out I couldn't recall much of the past. She then earnestly asked me to be her master. She possessed a strong sensing ability that could help me find ancient artifacts. With such an offer, I immediately agreed without hesitation. Seeing my swift decision, she was a bit stunned. She had expected me to demand something in exchange. The next morning, we went to the streets to treasure hunt. Unexpectedly, she sensed an ancient artifact. It was in the crowd gathered ahead. So we squeezed into the crowd to investigate. We saw someone struggling to pull a sword embedded in a stone. Legend said it was the sword of heroes from ancient times. Only a true hero could draw the sword. When I saw the sword, I froze. I recognized it as my own sword, Yolong. The treasured blade of the Swordsmith Valley from 5,000 years ago. Only I could wield it. I pushed through the crowd, ready to pull the sword. But guards blocked me with their swords. No unauthorized person may approach the sacred sword. It turned out that to pull the sword, one had to pass the hero's trial. And to take the trial, a recommendation from the 4 great families was required. At that moment, Catherine, whom I saved yesterday, appeared. She declared that I was her honored guest. The 2 guards immediately panicked, as Catherine belonged to one of the 4 great families, the eldest daughter of the Steve family. She said she could write me a recommendation for the hero's trial. I was furious that I needed someone's permission to reclaim my own sword. At that moment, the 9-tailed fox whispered to me that the trial might hold other treasures. I quickly turned and asked Catherine to write us both recommendations. My sights were set on the ghost maiden in the trial's secret realm. Not even the purest saint could dissuade me. Initially, I only intended to help this lost maiden. I approached to greet her, but she gave me a cold response. Left with no choice, I exorcised her in sorrow. Following the principle of making full use of resources, I stripped her of her clothing. Though tattered, the fabric was fine. If I collected more, it might fetch a good price. That night became a nightmare. For every female ghost in the secret realm, I looted their garments and packed them all. The female ghosts no longer dared to show themselves. Later challengers had to duel with male ghosts instead. We then ventured deeper into the trial's secret realm. There, we encountered a zombie girl in a maid outfit. She immediately demanded food. "You two look so frail. You probably won't fill my stomach. Maybe your stomach won't get full. But your clothes definitely won't survive." Hearing this, the zombie girl froze. "What do you mean my clothes won't survive?" "Exactly what it sounds like. You don't look very smart." Angered, the zombie girl stopped speaking. She immediately unleashed her ultimate move. Countless crimson bats flew out from the magic circle she summoned. I was just about to demonstrate my lightning magic when a blue flame streaked past me. In an instant, the crimson bats were incinerated. To my surprise, even after all these years, I still wielded the foxfire with precision. "You're so capable, it's all yours. Just don't burn the clothes." The zombie girl, seeing how little we regarded her, became even more furious. Before she could react, I dashed in front of her and reached for her clothing. Seeing my actions, her face turned red. She shouted angrily, "What's wrong with you? Do you even target ghosts now?" "I'm not targeting you. It's just that your outfit looks really nice. It's better if I take it off you before we fight." In the end, with my unmatched technique, she couldn't resist and surrendered completely. Not only did I successfully obtain the exquisite maid outfit, but I also acquired a magic core needed to pass the trial. However, I wasn't planning to leave the secret realm just yet. After all, many magical beasts were still waiting for me. At that moment, none outside the secret realm sensed a powerful aura. It was the aura of at least a 4th-tier magical beast. The trial had to be ended early. Catherine, standing nearby, couldn't help but worry for me. Meanwhile, I was face to face with the source of that powerful aura. A gargoyle. It wasn't wearing any clothes, but I still smiled with excitement. My eyes were immediately drawn to the gemstone on its head. While it was still confused, I leapt forward and delivered a devastating punch, sending it flying. "What's up with this guy? I don't sense any psychic energy from him, yet he hits so hard. Did he abandon psychic energy and train his body to the absolute peak? Is that how he can hit so powerfully? You brat, I've figured you out. Let's see you punch me again. My absolute defense will definitely shatter your bones." But my punch left its entire body cracked. Even so, it still refused to give up. It wanted to challenge me with magic. It drew a circle on the ground and unleashed dark invasion. A mass of black mist surged toward us. Standing at the forefront, I faced it head-on. The mist contained toxins. I handed the protective golden pearl to the 9-tailed fox, as the toxins had no effect on me. Now, I just needed to eliminate the source of the mist. A tiny lightning orb appeared at my fingertips. 9-tailed fox instantly recognized it as the ancient 5 thunder technique. The gargoyle, seeing such a small magic orb, dismissed it completely. "Let me show you what real magic is." A massive magic orb came hurtling toward me. I remained fearless. I countered by hurling my lightning orb. "This isn't magic. This is immortal arts." My lightning orb pierced straight through its magic orb. Then a terrifying surge of energy exploded outward. Even the nun outside the secret realm felt the tremor of the explosion. Staring at the distant energy storm, she broke into a cold sweat. When the energy subsided, the gargoyle had been reduced to charcoal. Fortunately, its magic core was intact. The nine-tailed fox worried about the toxins in my body. I sat down cross-legged to expel them. But the nine-tailed fox tackled me instead, sucking the toxins out herself. As my artifact spirit, as long as she had my spiritual energy, she would be fine. Meanwhile, outside the secret realm, everyone stood on high alert, prepared for any high-level magical beast to emerge. Instead, they saw me carrying a charred corpse out. The nun was shocked and deeply puzzled. Did this man hide his psychic energy? Could his true strength be unfathomable? Meanwhile, deep in the secret realm, a demon woman appeared. In the ruins of a crater, she discovered some traces. This familiar aura, it feels long lost. Wait, this is spiritual energy, and the marks of a cultivator's battle. I must hurry back to report this to Lord Demon God. Soon, we returned to the Holy Sword Plaza. The nun presided over the sword drawing ceremony. The only ones eligible to draw the sword were me and a blonde youth. He insisted on going first. I didn't care in the slightest. He gave it his all, shouting and straining for a long time. But the sword didn't budge an inch. Looks like the Sword of Heroes is just a legend. No one could possibly pull it out. Casually, I walked up to draw the sword. The moment I pulled out the sword, Yolong, it transformed into a blue dragon, whispered incessantly in my ear, recounting our glorious deeds from the past. Even after 5,000 years, you found me again. I knew it, you do love me, but don't be mesmerized by my handsome looks, or you might fall too hard for me. I shouldn't have pulled out such a narcissist like you. Catherine saw me pull out the holy sword, and came forward to congratulate me. But before she could say a word, a figure flashed by. The nine-tailed fox jumped on me, hugging my face tightly. Catherine's composure instantly crumbled. I'm too shy. I should have been bolder. At that moment, the nun presiding over the holy sword ceremony declared, the holy sword has been pulled out for the first time in millennia. She asked to examine the sword closely. As I handed Yolong to her, she accidentally dropped it to the ground. It turned out this sword, Yolong, was a high-grade ancient artifact. Only I, the last cultivator, could wield it. Furthermore, many similar artifacts were scattered across the world. We were then invited to Catherine's house as guests. She explained that magic cores were rare and valuable materials. The 2 cores I had could buy 2 houses. But then Yolong burped. This magic core's taste is average, but edible. Yolong, you just ate my houses. I spent so much effort digging those out of the beasts. Spit them out now. At that moment, news of me pulling out the holy sword spread. The 4 great families sent gifts to congratulate me. Among the gifts were a lavish golden armor, and 3 stunningly beautiful women. I immediately saw through their intent to seduce me, so I asked the butler to convert their value into cash. For the first time in his career, the butler faced a return request. The 3 ladies were dumbfounded. At that moment, the nun also brought a knight's medal from the church. She expressed a desire to touch my body. Her actions shocked both Catherine and the nine-tailed fox. It turned out the nun had magic to sense different types of energy. She wanted to sense the overwhelming power within me. She pressed against me, carefully perceiving it. Instantly, the immense power coursed through her. The incomparable impact left her collapsing to her knees. This is a force beyond psychic energy. At that moment, a powerful magical beast aura emerged outside. A black dragon was wreaking havoc on the town. Everywhere, innocent residents were in need of rescue. Seeing a young woman about to meet her doom, I gently blew a breath, extinguishing the flames instantly. The woman hurriedly thanked me and offered herself as repayment. Another one who doesn't pay in cash. I ignored her. The black dragon seemed to notice me, and charged straight at me. I raised my hand and slammed it to the ground. I could sense the flow of spiritual energy within it. It turned out this was a magical beast from the immortal demon war. It had accidentally swallowed an ancient artifact. The spiritual energy from the artifact had been torturing it. Sensing the aura of Yolong, it had come looking for relief. I slit its belly with a single stroke, ending its suffering. Inside, I retrieved the ancient artifact, the Millennium Mirror. It was a spatial artifact. Inside the mirror was a small, complete world. It could store items, and even be used for living and cultivation. At that moment, the awakened black dragon hovered in the air, trembling. You're the cultivator from the war with the demon god. No, you are him, but not entirely him. Meanwhile, unaware, I was still a guest at Catherine's house. Hearing that I was leaving the next day, Catherine hesitated about whether to confess to me. The nine-tailed fox secretly cast a charm spell, to help her leave no regrets. Catherine boldly approached me shortly after. Without hesitation, she hugged me tightly and confessed, asking me to leave her with unforgettable memories. That night was truly sleepless. Even the nun in the next room couldn't contain her surging emotions. The next morning, as the nine-tailed fox and I began our journey to find meaning in travel, someone stepped out to block our path. This greatly annoyed the nine-tailed fox, who wanted to be alone with me. The blonde youth from the 4 great families wanted to take my Yolong sword. He even brought his mother, Jenny, an S-rank psychic energy wielder. Not only that, but 2 other S-rank experts from other families were with him. After briefly crossing swords with me, they quickly realized the overwhelming strength I possessed. Jenny thought they were simply out of practice. She unleashed her psychic energy and attacked personally. A storm of attacks came at us like raging winds and rain. Dust and debris filled the air. My mom is definitely going to beat this guy so badly he won't recognize himself. But as the dust settled, I suddenly appeared in front of Jenny. I decided to show her my special skill. In an instant, I stripped her of her armor. Jenny exclaimed, impressive. Hurriedly, she covered herself. Her weapon, a whip, ended up in my hand. It became a tool to bind and punish her. What is this guy planning to do to me? I already have kids this grown. Just because I'm beautiful, do I deserve this fate? The other 2 couldn't stay idle any longer. They revealed their trump cards. A knight in heavy armor grew to the size of a mountain. He swung his massive sword downward. I casually caught it with one hand. Then, a surge of spiritual energy erupted from me. With a light swing of my sword, I sent him flying. His fallen body crushed the blonde youth unconscious. The second expert launched his long-prepared lightning sword attack. Without hesitation, he turned and ran. That guy isn't even in the same league as us. But no matter how strong he is, he can't catch up to me. Yet as he turned, he realized I was already by his side. Then, under a bolt of heavenly lightning, he was instantly reduced to ashes. Under the intimidation of me and Yolong, Jenny shed tears of submission. She declared she was willing to fulfill any of my demands. So, I pulled out an IOU she owed Zhang Tianxian. 10 billion spirit stones. Why don't you just rob me instead? Fine, I'll fulfill this 10 billion deal for you. Damn it, even after I fulfilled his demand, he still won't untie me. At that moment, a figure appeared in front of her. Human, tell me, where is the cultivator? The demon queen herself submitted to me, offering to fulfill any of my requests. She mistook me for the demon god she admired. It turned out that not long ago, the witch sensed the aura of a cultivator. She decided to personally take action, to eliminate me completely. However, she first encountered the 9-tailed fox out on a stroll. Caught off guard by the fox's attack, she was knocked to the ground. In a desperate moment, she activated her charm spell. Within the illusion, the witch saw the demon god she had long admired. She received his blessing, leaving her trembling and unable to stand from excitement. Seeing this, the 9-tailed fox prepared a fatal strike. Just as she summoned foxfire to attack, the witch preemptively stabbed herself. She used pain to forcefully break free from the illusion. Though she didn't want to wake from the illusion, she couldn't allow the demon god to be defiled. She then summoned a rock spike to strike the 9-tailed fox. At that moment, I arrived just in time to shatter the spike. It's dangerous for a girl to be out alone at night. Next time, make sure to bring me along. The 9-tailed fox immediately burst into tears, feeling wronged. The witch, seeing me, froze in shock and backed away. She realized that my appearance was identical to the demon god's. No, wait, this must be another illusion. I'll make you regret this. She then hurled countless shards of rock at me. I'll crush you into dust in one breath. The area was instantly shrouded in dust and smoke. That guy must be nothing but bones now. But as the dust cleared, I stood unharmed inside a protective shield. The witch froze in disbelief. That was my ultimate move. How is this possible? I casually swiped my hand, sending her flying with a single slap. How is he so strong? So this is a cultivator? She then sensed the aura emanating from me, resembling the demon god's. Her entire body trembled uncontrollably. She backed away repeatedly. No, I can't let his aura intimidate me. She stood up and gathered all her strength. Several meteors were drawn from the sky by her power. I calmly summoned the azure dragon. It swiftly devoured the meteors one by one. The power of a cultivator is terrifying. Could he be the one foretold by the high priest's prophecy? You killed Jenny, causing me great losses. You can forget about keeping your equipment. If you can't pay back the spirit stones, then you'll have to disappear. I picked up the severely injured 9-tailed fox, preparing to take her for treatment. She told me that as long as she was nourished by my spiritual energy, she would recover quickly. To enhance the efficiency of her energy absorption, we went to a nearby pond. After an entire night of intimate contact, the 9-tailed fox fully recovered. We then set off on our journey once more. At that moment, the 9-tailed fox sensed the presence of another artifact. Then I saw a group of people chasing an elf girl. Want to grab her honey syrup.